Good evening, everyone. Hello, buongiorno, whatever else we're gonna say. The sun is right in my face, and so that's why I had the sunglasses on, but now they're off. So here we are. I'm late by about a week, so but we knew this was gonna happen. Anyone who has actually watched these little video journals I do knows that I'm not really on time. I always try to do well. It's never just thrown to the side and saying screw it, but it's often not what it needs to be. And this is just one of those cases because school started. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk about something that happened this morning at 7:30 that I think needs to be addressed. So I recently released a video, you can go and watch it now, about Canadian economics, why Trudeau resigned from an economic perspective, etc., etc. And the first comment was, dude, what's with the hair? So to address that, you did this to me. All this. Just kidding. Honestly, I needed a haircut anyway. It was getting kind of long and out of control, which is what was sticking down on my face in part of the video. But if you want to go watch that, I think it provides a really good understanding of what's happening over there. And my heart really goes out to a lot of the Canadians. Like, when I really dug into it, my heart just broke for how mismanaged it was. I mean, when you think about it, Canada has tons of land, one of the most developed economies on earth. They had a fantastic merit-based immigration system. They have insane oil reserves, massive uranium reserves, right? And people in Ontario can't afford a house. College students are working multiple jobs just to make ends meet, right? It answers a lot of those questions. It answers the why. So just as the start of this, I wanted to shield that in there. If that's something that interests you, if that's something that sounds interesting, or if you live in Canada and you're like, why can't I afford eggs? Give it a watch and you'll be surprised what came out of it. Anyway, I've been gone because school has started and I've been really busy. So Beyond Abundance, the company I work for, is getting ready for their product launch here in a couple months, and I'm really ramping up to try and be ready for that. It's my last semester, so I've really buckled down and tried to focus on school. And the other thing is, since really the first part of January, the world's kind of gone crazy. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but everything is just strange. You know, something that I look at a lot now, just because I spend so much of my time looking at finance and economics now, is Bitcoin, weirdly enough, keeps popping up over and over and over again. It's like that friend who refuses to get off your couch. And it hit a new high after the most recent Consumer Price Index report, which came out not only a week ago, but even before that. You know, Trudeau resigned. This whole time we've been paying higher prices for oil. It seemed like there was no oil anywhere, no one was pumping, and then all of a sudden we have this massive surplus that doesn't make a whole ton of sense. The holidays, I guess, were disappointing for retailers, and they're going to start laying people off. Microsoft said they're going to start laying people off. So it's just been a very confusing time. Great for me because I can scream at more graphs and throw a bunch of stuff up on Substack that people may not care about. Or anyway, point is, I find it really fascinating, but there's some real human cost to that, and I don't want to ignore that. I feel like that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't really trust the news that comes out, is because a lot of big names, and I did it when I first started writing, they ignore the human cost, right? So back to the Canadian example, Canada in December paid 133% more than the US for the same amount of gasoline. And I realized fairly quick that that means the average person is probably paying 133% more for everything in their economy, which means they have, what would that be? Oh yeah, it means they have much less money. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head right now. I'm too tired to do the math. But they have less money to throw around. And so it's been a real growing moment for me over these past 2 weeks as I've done more of these articles, and they pretty much all have been around finance and economics because there's so much going on. And people are really starting to feel it. I had a moment today where it was just reinforced to me how much this means to certain people because I had released an article. It's called Well, That's Not Good, talking about employment numbers for 2024 and moving into 2025. And I had talked about how people like Bridgewater and Associates were laying off staff. It got almost 3,000 impressions. It's been up for a week. So people care. You know, I was talking to someone on Substack the other day. They're in their late 20s, late 20s. They seem like a fairly intelligent person. They're getting their PhD and there's no jobs. So I don't want to lose sight of that. And it's really made me rethink how I write these articles and how I need to give them more thought into how the human aspect of it all is affected. Anyway, in that whole time period, I really haven't had a whole time to think for myself. I'm doing good today. It's been very surprisingly good the last couple days. And so I don't want to, well, not Sunday, but today it's been really good. And I don't want to jinx that because it's a little weird, but I'm happy and I'm grateful for it. So anyway, I have been rambling for, 8 minutes now. So I gotta get to the point. The point is, really big sorry for not releasing a video journal last week if people actually watch these. And, you know, it's just been that I've been busy and sometimes that's life. I guess one thing I did want to add, which I'm probably going to talk about more because I think it has some real meaning and weight to it, is the fact that recently what's been moving the needle for me, both here on YouTube, on Substack, which is growing a lot. That's the other reason why I haven't made these videos, is Substack's just required more of my attention. If you're willing to just do the work, forget all of the guru nonsense that you hear, right? So whether it's a business, personal health journey, building a better relationship, right? What moves the needle is the work. If you're willing to buckle down and put in the extra effort, if you're willing to send, I don't know, the 10 messages a day on Instagram, if you're willing to spend the extra hour at work every week or the extra hour with your partner, then you're actually going to start seeing the progress you want. It's about the work. It's not about the positive affirmations. It's not about the gratitude practice. Though that all helps. Pardon my French, it's doing the damn work is what will really help you to see more progress towards your goals. And I know that because that's what's been happening to me over the past couple weeks. Is I kind of said, screw it. Partially because my wife's working earlier in the mornings now, so I'm getting up with her at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And so I've just been doing the work. You know, I get up and I start working at 6 a.m. Or I get up and I start writing. And that's where the success has been coming from. So, long and rambly way to say, if, as we move into 2025, because I know it's still like New Year's resolution-y time, if you really want to see progress this year, figure out what needs to be done and do it. Just do the work. I promise you, you'll see results faster if you're willing to just pick up the discomfort and do the work. Anyway, that is it. Oh my gosh. I am going to go celebrate my brother's birthday, and thank you all. Have a great week.